Hey, good morning and happy Friday. Let me fix that camera there. Today, I thought it would be a good idea to talk about this idea of, is it your mindset holding you back in your business, or could it be something else? And so, what I want to do today is I want to tell you a story. I want to talk about how to build your business on a strong foundation, and then how to identify where are the holes in your foundation. And what we want to do is we want to move from this like, why, right? Am I not more successful in my business, to why? So I'm going to encourage you guys to put on like your business doctor hat instead of your like compare with other people hat or something like that, right? Like that, there's that hat that we wear when we feel bad about ourselves. And then there's the diagnosis hat, like the one we use when we're when we want to give advice to our friends. So here's the story. I was coaching in the customer for Sales Mastermind on Wednesday. And one of our clients, who is really smart, really nice, and is going to do great in her business. We were talking about what's hard about closing sales, and she confessed, I have such a hard time closing sales. I have such a hard time asking for the order. I think I have a major mindset block around this, and so I'm sure I just need to work on my mindset. And I'm curious if you guys have, like, let me know in the comments, say the word mindset, if you have felt like the big hole in your business is that you have a major mindset issue, and that's why you can't stick to a schedule, close sales, recruit builders, or retain clients. So I said, yeah, maybe. So what are you actually saying at the end there? Because she said, I feel icky, and I'm sure that's a mindset issue. And the truth was, she didn't have a standard way of doing it. So she would just throw something out, and that made her feel icky and unprofessional. And I was like, well, we can't solve a mindset issue with a technical skill problem. So, I think that there's just so much wisdom in looking at our business like it's a house or a building, because as business owners, we are, right, like we're building something, we're creating something. So I think that the idea of a house is really helpful. So let me show you how this works, and let me know in the comments if this resonates with you. So let's say this is our house, so we have a roof. Now I do want to let you know that I skipped kindergarten. So I never learned how to draw rudimentary things. So please don't make fun of me. Okay. So this is our house of success. House of success. And I'm sure you've heard things like this, right? We have these pillars, and we're like, hey, you know what? Mindset is everything. We know that we need to implement, right? And we know there's something to be said about experience. Keep swimming, like Finding Nemo, right? Keep going, and eventually you'll figure this out. But there's this other piece here, right? Like, what is our house built on? For those of you that read the Bible, right, there's that verse. I'm not asserting that what I'm about to say is like Jesus or God himself, but there's the idea of like, are you building your house on sand, or are you building your house on a rock? So what is this thing that we're building our mindset, our implementation, our experience on? And what it is it's what I do and what I say. Right? If you don't know what to do, how are you going to implement it? If you don't know what to say, how are you going to have a positive mindset about your success? Or if what you're saying is ineffective, the mindset isn't going to push through that, except that it's going to keep you in the game long enough to figure out what to say instead. And so instead of addressing this client's mindset, what we did instead is we wrote out the wording for her close. And how we did it, I'm going to give you a pro tip right here that we usually go over in the mastermind. But before she went and explained her products, what we did is we wrote in a line that said, you know, the first few products I'm going to show you, they come in our basic kit, which is for people to solve everyday problems. And then I'm going to show you what also comes in the complete kit, which is for people who want a lifestyle change. And what happens then is the customer self-selects, and now the end isn't pushy because it's very easy to say, well, do you want to go ahead and order this? Is this a good fit for you and your family? It flips the whole thing, right? But if you know what to do and what to say, then you're in a good place, right? This is what I would call technical skill. That is terrible writing. I am so sorry. Technical skill. So it's like if you're a surgeon and you really have an amazing mindset around whether or not you can perform heart surgery, I'm sure we would all agree that we want a surgeon who has technical skill. And I think this is a place for people to start. I think it's very convenient for the industry to be able to blame everything on your mindset issues. And while I do acknowledge that there are parts of perspective and the assumptions that we make that do need to be corrected, it's a lot easier to blame you for your mindset than it is to get into the nitty-gritty on technical skill. Things like, how do you craft an agenda so customers want to buy? Things like, what exactly do you do when it comes to things like time blocking, or what is exactly a 90-day follow-up strategy once somebody buys once so that you buy again? And what are the actual words that you need to say, right? Those are technical skills. Those make a really big difference. And so what I'm going to walk you through right now is skills assessment. Now, there's going to be a lot of people who watch this and you're like, out. I'm like, I'm not watching this. This is too much. But remember, we want to go from, right? I'm going to assume if you are in this group that you want your network marketing business to be a business, not a hobby. And so if you're going to have a business, we need business skills. And so what exactly are the business skills of network marketing? So what I'm going to encourage you guys to do, instead of like turning off this video and going to something that's more pleasant and going over to TikTok and watching cat videos or something, I'm going to encourage you to take 5 minutes and lean into this exercise, going from why to why. And then make a commitment to fix this. So the first question, the first skill is organization, right? This is part of being a professional as opposed to a hobbyist. So how would you rate yourself on the following statements? I do what I say I'm going to do. I have a plan each week. I stay focused on my priorities. I feel effective with the time I'm spending on my business. Would you score yourself a 0? Like, I don't even do this at all. Would you score yourself a 1? I'm just starting, or I try it, but I stink. Would you score yourself a 2? I can do this consistently. Or would you score yourself a 3? I'm a rock star at this. It's my jam. And I want you to put in the comments, what is your score for getting organized? There is no shame. These are private groups. We're all in the same boat. We're going to encourage you if you give us an honest score. So put in the chat where you are on getting organized. Number 2 skill, personal networking and reconnecting. So I connect or reconnect with 30 to 60 people per month. So I have a steady group of people I can share my products or business with when applicable. Now, there are multiple different ways that you can go about building your network, and that can be a different conversation that we have. But the question here is just like, do we have that process? Do we have that skill in place? So 0, don't do it. Number 1, just starting. 2, I can do this consistently. 3, I'm a rock star at this. It's my jam. Now, if you guys want this Google form so that you can fill it out and it'll email you a copy, just write skills in the comments and we'll make sure we get you this link. And then that way you can track your progress. Like I have one for my coaching business that looks like this, right? And I track my progress on it. So I think that's important. All right, next one is inviting. When I invite people to sales conversations or events, I generally get a positive response. So number 1, I don't invite people to sales conversations or events, would be 0. 1 would be, I'm just starting to do this. 2, I can do this consistently. Or 3, get out of my way, Tasha. I'll run your training for you. Yeah, I love the honesty. 1 for personal networking. I think that there's just so much hope when we're like, oh, this is my challenge. And now we can go into problem solving mode instead of like that despair feeling that I think we can have. Cool. Another number 1. I hope this is helpful for you. Next one, these 2 I'm going to put together. Closing skills. So closing is like the percentage of people that buy when you have your first actual real conversation about the products. What we're shooting for here is 50 to 80%. Now, most network marketers have about a 10% closing percentage. So if 10% sounds right to you, congratulations, you are average, except our goal is that you are above average, that you transcend, right, the average income in network marketing, which is less than $100. So we want to have a quality conversation that has a 50 to 80% closing percentage. Now, I want to make sure that you're incredibly clear. This does not include being high pressure, pushy, following up until someone buys or dies, or saying anything that you wouldn't feel 100% comfortable telling your sister or your best friend or your mom. Closing has a process, right? We use agenda, input, company story, features, benefits, and options to buy. And when we do that well with a plan, we're in a good shape. This morning I was, where's my, I was, being a good kid and reading my Bible, which, I don't know, hit and miss some days, right? But there's this that stood out to me. It's Proverbs 29:20. Do you see a man who speaks in haste? There's more hope for a fool than for him. We can't have our sales conversations be something that we're winging. So I'm curious, for closing percentage, would you call yourself a 1, 0, 1, 2, or 3? Average order, we want to make sure this average order is between 76 and 150. That way, when you are meeting with people, right, they're getting enough product that they're able to actually make a difference in their lives and in their families' lives. So you can rate yourself on a scale of 0 to 3. Now, you might be thinking, that's harsh, Tasha. Why is it 0 to 3, not 1 to 4? And I think 0 is the most hopeful score. Because 0 just means I've never done this. And never done this means you have like infinite opportunities in order to succeed, because it's just a hole that we can start problem solving toward. The next skill is customer retention. So the way I would measure this is at least half of my customers place a second order in the next month. I have a specific customer follow-up strategy to check in, make sure they're using their products, stay educated, and are invited to events. So I don't do this at all. I am just starting. I can do this consistently, or I'm a rock star at this. It is my jam. Go ahead and rate yourself on a score of 0 to 3. Referrals and hosting, this is super important. Network marketing is driven through word of mouth. So of course we want to network and meet new people. But the secret, the key is other people's people, right? Okay, so just starting. I love that. I love that honesty. And I think that's helpful to see that, okay, we can take this up a level and get better results. So with referrals or having people host things, I don't do this at all. I'm just starting. I can do this consistently. I'm a rock star. It's my jam. Get out of my way, Tasha. I'll run your training for you. By the way, if you are 3 at any of these, please put that in the chat, because I'm sure we would love to have you in the community to share, generously what wisdom you have for everyone. The next 2 are in the recruiting and launching. And so I would say consistency when it comes to recruiting is going to be inviting people to recruiting conversations and having 3 to 4 recruiting conversations a month. So dedicated conversations where you're like, why would you want to do this as a business? Here's how the business works. Here's what you would do. Here's basically how the compensation works. Would you like to basically set up a launch event? If you're having 3 or 4 of those per month, I'd put you at a 2. If you're having more than that, you're definitely a rock star. And then we want to start at least 1 new builder per month. So go ahead and put on a scale of 0 to 3. Where are you with recruiting? And then mentoring business builders they kind of go hand in hand, right? So I have a step-by-step process to lead new builders through so they can get their first 5 to 10 customers and first business builder in their first 30 days. So I don't mentor business builders. I'm just starting. I can do this consistently, and I'm a rock star. And this last one here is actually something that 0. Oh, you know what though? Like I mentioned, 0 scores I think are the most hopeful, because there is only one way to go when you have a 0. I have a couple, I hate to admit it, but we're all business owners here, right? I'm not judging you. I am hoping you're not judging me. But I have 2 zeros on my list for my business. And I was like, oh, we really need to get on that. Like, there's so much opportunity. We just have this like gaping hole. And so let's fix that, right? And I can go into problem solving mode instead of, like I said, despair, right? This feeling of I'm doing everything the way I'm supposed to be doing it. I'm doing everything right and not getting the results. That is the most hopeless feeling ever. It is way more hopeful to say, oh, this is an area of my business I've neglected. If I put some energy there, I'm going to do better, than it is to say, I'm doing everything my upline and corporate tells me to do, and I'm still making $75 or $200 a month. This is frustrating. Maybe it's me. And I am going to like draw my line in the sand and say, it's probably not you. It is probably the skills and the structure and the routines and the systems. Because if, 16-year-old kids can run a Subway, then you can run a network marketing business. But what the kids at Subway have is they have these systems, processes, and then they're able to develop their skills. This last one I just added, and it's mission and vision. I believe here today in 2022, what's changed? I think that mission and vision, knowing why your business exists and what you want your business to look like in the future, right? Unlocking that motivation internally and motivating others as well is super, super important. And when I went and started my coaching business, this was the first step that I did. And this is a little bit different than knowing your why, which I think is something that people talk about. But it's like, how does my business make the world a better place? Because once we understand why our business makes the world a better place, we are no longer pushy or salesy or just in it for a sale. We're fulfilling a mission, and we feel that, and then they feel that as well. So our mission is to give hope, confidence, and skills to network marketers of all levels. If I didn't have that mission, I would have been out of the game a long time ago with the first setback that came. I would have been unmotivated, unstructured. I wouldn't be doing the work, but I have a little Post-it here on the top left that I look at every single day that reminds me this is what my mission is. And it helps me to do all the things, that fulfill that. So that's the skill assessment. The very last part of the skill assessment is like, would you like support in implementing that? So if you guys want a copy of the skill assessment so you can fill it out on your own, it takes maybe 3 minutes to fill out. Then just write the word skills there in the chat. If you are like, oh, now I know what I need to focus on, I'm going to hit YouTube, read a bunch of books. That's cool. Go for it. If you want support implementing that, take all of our scripts, take all of our systems, get some help with that, or guidance. I don't like the word help. I like the word guidance a lot better. Then let us know, because we're starting a mastermind on that at the end of August, and we want to make sure you're included. So just a quick reminder here. I'm going to do a quick recap for you. If you're catching here at the end, I'm going to bring up my little rudimentary house drawing to show you one more time. Right here is your house of success. Yes, mindset, implementation, and experience hold up your house for sure. But the foundation of your business is going to be what I do and what I say. Do I have the technical skills and processes in place so that I can get predictable results, right? That will shift your mindset. It'll change the way you believe, just like the client I was telling you about. Once we gave her words, she's like, oh, that doesn't feel icky at all. And the words shifted the mindset block, instead of her, spending so much time doing jumping mental hurdles to try to not feel icky about something that maybe was icky. I don't know. Which then allowed her to implement, which then started to give her experience. And then we built the house. We're building the house of success. So I hope that this was helpful for you. It is Friday morning, so maybe it's the end of a tricky week, or maybe it's the end of an awesome week for you. But let me know before you go, let me know one thing that you found helpful from this little mini training we did here, and let us know if there's anything that we can do to support you with your implementation. Have a great day, my friends, and we'll talk soon.